Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 53 of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw a couple of events happen, mainly focusing over here. Um, we saw a big war break out in Europe here, and another war broke out right in this area. I believe there was one or two other events that took place last episode, but I don't remember. So, uh, yeah. All right. We'll just get started with this war continuing on. All right. Um. Oh yeah. So one of the big things that happened last episode was whole the Holy See Empire well, it wasn't created, but these these six countries from the Great Empire, they made an alliance, and basically that alliance is you cannot if if we get attacked, we all go and fight the country attacking us. But if one of our members attacks someone, we don't care. That's basically what it is. So we see whoops. All right, so you see Crimea continuing to push into the blue Anatolian country. Um they're trying to go down and split it. We see the purple team here. They also move into the blue team more. They move up to this point here. Then they start fighting Crimean troops as well. Um, these countries are not working together. They are they are all enemies of one another. The only two there's a couple of the countries that have pretty good relations with each other. That is Istanbul and Caucasia and Caspian Azerbaijan. Those two have good relations. These two have good relations. The blue team doesn't have a good relations with any of them. Crimea, they've got kind of good relations with Azerbaijan and Caspia, though. But yeah, so there's a lot of hate going on here. This is pretty much structured just like how the Holy Russian Empire was in Adis Broswixo. Um, like they have like a quote unquote president that kind of leads them, or that leads the alliance. So yeah, but we see Crimea is eventually kicked out of the blue team, and it now ends up like this. However, Crimea is not too happy about being kicked out, so they will begin invading Caucasia. And Crim of these of the six of these countries, if I ranked them, um Crimea is one, two is Istanbul, three is four would be Caspia, five is the blue team, and six is um Azerbaijan. So yeah, that's a quick rankings. But we see the we see Istanbul will push up into Crimea, and Crimea is not happy about this, obviously, and they're going to try and focus some troops back down here. It's not going to end well. And similarly to what happened down here with Mesopotamia trying to get involved, Russia wants to invade Crimea, but the whole alliance says no. can't do it. Anyway, with Crimean troops being dispersed a bit more, we see Caucasia is able to push back completely in the north, and they also begin to invading to Crimea. However, there's always going to be another however. We see Caspia getting involved in this too now. They are on their own side in this war. They're not supporting Crimea, although they are pretty. It, they're close-ish with Crimea, but they're just kind of going around in this northern area, and they're able to take over quite a lot of it. And all right, all right. Istanbul will continue to push into Crimea now. I move up here, and they begin entering the Crimean Peninsula because Crimea did not supply this front line enough, and now the Crimean capital is about to be captured. We see Caucasia is going to push out right here, and then what they do is they move into this area here, taking over all of this, and then holding a defensive front right here so that they can refocus on Caspia. But Caspia is like, okay, so what actually happened is we never sent our military in. Um, yeah, we're fine if we just get this. And Caucasia is like, you know what? Fine. You can get some of that, but they only do that so they can finish off Crimea, which they are successfully able to do once they capture the capital, and the country's pretty much split in half. And we'll take a look at a peace treaty. All right, so here we see the peace treaty. Also, this is going to be important later on in the series. The treaty was held in the capital of Pakistan. This is the actually these guys aren't really Pakistan, are they? Crap. I'm gonna figure out a new name for these guys. All right, but yeah, that'll be important later on. So make sure to hold on to that piece of information. Caspia will get all of this, notably cutting off Caucasia from the Caspian Sea. However, we do see Caucasia getting quite a lot of the land. However, the country that got the most land, I believe, would be Istanbul, who is now more of a Anatolia. But I'm gonna call the blue team the Anatolians. So, alright, I could just use this. Alright, speaking of the blue team, this is them now. And then Crimea. Alright, so yeah. Oh, alright, so here we have the peace treaty. Alright, now we are going to move over to Korea. Um, out of every country during World War Five, or I keep calling it World War Five. Out of every country during World War Three, they got off the best, or of the major five powers during World War Three, they got off the best. Superior is not doing swell. Switzerland, I mean, they got off pretty good actually. well, they've gotten to all of this wars and stuff, but you know, you know how it goes. All right, down here, Ethiopia did not get out too well either, but Korea held on to a majority of their land. They lost a little bit on this from this Yellow Sea country. They lost all of Japan, and they lost this island up here. Also, I believe they held on to Taiwan before the war. But yeah. So, oh yeah, they also lost like this entire northern region. But Korea's actually doing pretty well right now. They are the most stable of the five countries that got out of the war. Also the Great Empire like collapsed, so alright. Um, yeah, they're the most stable of the countries. However, we're going to be coming to the alliances because mm, what do you know? Not everyone's a fan of them, and a lot of countries are scared Korea is going to come back and attack them. So we see a new anti-Korean alliance is formed. Uh, triangle, square, diamond, circle. Okay. Um, Trapezoid alliance is formed against Crimea, starting with both Japanese countries. Notably, these guys join. The yellow team up here joins. We do see this Dark Cyan country staying out of the war, but Lake Baikal will, or not war, Lake Baikal will join this alliance, and South China does. So we see alliances are starting to repop up. Um, and um, we see another big event happens too. We see a new economic alliance forms. Yes, it is a new one. Um, but this economic alliance will form over here between the trapezoid countries and some others. It's founded by Lake Baikal and the yellow team. Both Japanese countries join. We do not see this yellow team joining here. South China joins it as well. Vietnam will join this blue country, or both of these blue countries here, which are both communists. Myanmar, and the last country to join it is going to be this tannish country. Is uh, I'm still gonna figure out a name for it. Whatever this peninsula is, I don't know the name of it. I'll look it up though later. Um, that'll be the name of this country. All right, but yeah, so all of that happens. All right, now we are going to move on to another country over here. This purple team. They are the only non-democratic country in Africa. Um, so uh, they aren't very, they don't have very favorable views from most countries, and that is going to continue on out here as we see the purple team will invade a country, and that country is going to be the cyan team, and it's a pretty quick invasion too. They take up once they take up there. the Cyan team's already like, yeah, we don't want to fight this war. They set up their navy in this area here. Um, and it's enough to hold them out. But the purple team is not going to give up, so they will also invade Ethiopia. Um, and then from there they will invade the. Okay, so I'm going to make this just a bit darker. Okay, so they invade this. So they invade into the into Somalia now. Um, Even together, these two are much weaker than the purple team. So we see the capitals captured, or for the Cyan team, their capitals captured, and Ethiopia soon after surrenders. Um, and this island is also captured pretty soon after. But what happens in every war we've had so far? Someone else joins right as it looks like it's about to be over. But that doesn't happen here. We're going to be taking a look at a peace treaty that doesn't involve another country getting involved so far. Alright, so here we see the peace treaty. Ethiopia remains as that, and the China team will remain as that, as well as they keep on to that island. Alright, for the purple team, they gain all of that, and we see Kenya getting quite a bit of land there too. Alright, and we're also going to take a quick look at why Kenya got some of that land. Dang it. I did not fumble that hard. Alright, so their government was changed. So both of these two now have got a fascist government because of these guys. But we'll it doesn't really help them much at all. We'll see how that goes on though. Mm, But we come over back to Caribbean as their army is preparing themselves. Um, it's not just in one spot though. Why would it be? They have their army prepared across three of their borders. Now, if we take a look at power rankings, they're ranked at ninth. That's probably not true anymore. They're much closer to third or second. They do not surpass these guys though. But I'm not gonna update power rankings though. Most power rankings are pretty much accurate other than that. So we'll do power rankings next episode though. But Caribbean will prepare their military on three of their borders. But we're gonna stay in this area and stay on this layer. So Caribbean has dictatorship, we know that. They're the only one they're one of two countries that are not democratic in the Americas. The other country being this tribal nation, which is three theocracies. You know, if you don't know why, go watch the whole series. Let's watch the whole series. There. All right. Um, oh yeah. So, well, we see what's been going on out here. We've got fascist countries rising, some communist countries also coming in, and we have a new communist country being or coming into play over in the Americas. Obviously, it's a democratic country. Um, but there seems to be something going on here, and a lot of countries think that there was another country or countries that had something to do with their recent elections. There was they have a three-party government. Um, one of one of their parties is a pro-communist party, which is the one that won, or supposedly won. They have a pro-fascist party, or one of them was pro-fascist, and the other was a pro-democracy. Uh, the pro-democracy barely got any votes. It was 48% were supposedly communist, and and then there was about 46% were pro-fascist, supposedly, and then the other like 6% was democratic. But that country, if you might have guessed it already, that was Mexico. And actually, um, I only one of the reasons I switched that was because I need to do that, just so it's a bit more clear. All right, all right. So, well, we do stay on this layer, as there is another country that is turning communist, another country that just had its elections, and it is also kind of getting clear that there is definitely some ongoing interventions in these countries. Um, that second country is New York. We recently came over here because of a war, including with New York. Um, so yeah. All right, but one last event over in this area is the Caribbean's Navy, or not Navy. Well, they're Navy too, but Caribbean's military was just sent into the first of the three countries. That first country is this Louisiana country here. These guys are not close to being in the top, not even top 30. But so the Caribbean military will very easily go through this country. But now we see, surprise, somebody else just joined the war. West Mexico, because why wouldn't West Mexico? It's free land. And also, these two, West Mexico and Caribbean, they're kind of sort of friendly, but since or they were kind of sort of friendly, but since the dictatorship wasn't happened, um, they've been a lot less friendly with each other. But the last major city was captured by West Mexico, and well, somebody else joined the war. I wonder who it could be. It's not like America used to own any of this land or anything, but yep, they go right through and take over the rest of it. And let's take a look at the peace treaty for this war, and that will do it for the episode. Alright, so here we have the peace treaty. We see West Mexico getting all of this, making their borders look even uglier. Yeah, I had to follow the provinces. They're a very big country. Right. America, it's that. And obviously the rest is going to go over to Mexico. Obviously the rest is going over to Caribbean. But that will do it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.